Picture this. It's 1941. Wehrmacht panzer crews are racing across the Ukrainian steppes, confident in their technological superiority. Then they see it. A machine that shouldn't exist. Angular, brutal, unstoppable. German shells bounce off its armor like raindrops. Its gun destroys their invincible Tigers with single shots from impossible distances. The T-34, the tank that changed everything. That moment, when German tank ace Otto Carius radioed, "Impossible! Our rounds aren't penetrating," wasn't just tactical shock. It was the birth of a legend, a bloodline of Soviet steel that would terrorize battlefields for the next 80 years. Dramatic pause. From the factories of Nizhny Tagil to the streets of Damascus, from the frozen hell of Stalingrad to the deserts of Syria, Russian tanks haven't just participated in history, they've written it in fire and steel. But here's the question that's haunting military analysts worldwide. Which of these mechanical monsters truly deserves the crown as Russia's greatest tank? The mass-produced T-72 that conquered half the world? The legendary T-80 that could outrun sports cars? Or the mysterious T-14 Armata that might just be the most advanced tank on Earth? Today, we're ranking Russia's greatest tank dynasty, and the results will shock you. The foundation, T-72, the people's tank. Let's start with the machine that earned its place through sheer unstoppable numbers, the T-72. December 1979, Soviet-Afghan border. Captain Alexei Volkov climbs into his brand new T-72A, part of the massive Soviet invasion force. His tank, serial number 174, is about to become part of the largest tank deployment since World War II. But Volkov has no idea he's driving a machine that will become the most produced tank in human history after the T-54. The T-72 wasn't designed to be the best tank. It was designed to be the tank that could be everywhere. While NATO spent billions perfecting the M1 Abrams and Leopard 2, the Soviets asked a different question. What if we built a tank that was 80% as good, but could be produced in 10 times the numbers? The answer was the T-72, a mechanical Kalashnikov that traded sophistication for reliability, complexity for mass production. Here's what made it legendary. The T-72 could be manufactured by factories that had never built a tank before. Its systems were so simple that conscripts with minimal training could operate them effectively. Its maintenance requirements were so basic that field mechanics could keep them running with spare parts scavenged from agricultural equipment. But simple doesn't mean weak. The T-72's 125mm smoothbore cannon could penetrate any NATO tank of its era. Its composite armor, while not as sophisticated as Western designs, was thick enough to stop most contemporary anti-tank weapons. And its autoloader meant it could fire faster than tanks requiring human loaders. The result? Over 25,000 T-72s rolled off Soviet production lines, with thousands more built under license worldwide. When the Cold War ended, T-72s were the backbone of armies from Cuba to Vietnam, from Iraq to Angola. Ranking position number 4, not because it wasn't effective, but because it was designed to be good enough rather than great. The T-72's greatest strength was its weakness. It was the tank equivalent of the AK-47, reliable and ubiquitous, but not particularly sophisticated. But evolution was coming, and the next generation would be terrifying. The speed demon, T-80, born to run. Enter the machine that redefined what a tank could be, the T-80, the world's first gas turbine main battle tank. March 1976, Leningrad Tank Factory. Chief designer Nikolai Popov watches as his creation, Object 219, screams across the test range at speeds that shouldn't be possible for a 42-ton machine. The T-80 isn't just fast, it's supernaturally fast, hitting 70 kilometers per hour on roads and maintaining 50 km/h across broken terrain that would bog down other tanks. This wasn't just about speed. This was about changing the fundamental nature of armored warfare. Traditional tank battles were grinding affairs. where heavily armored machines slugged it out at close range. The T-80 introduced a new concept, hit-and-run tactics, where superior speed allowed crews to engage enemies from optimal position, deliver devastating fire, and disappear before return fire could be effective. Captain Viktor Petrov, one of the first T-80 commanders, described the experience. It was like riding a missile with a cannon attached. We could appear anywhere on the battlefield without warning, destroy our targets, and vanish before enemy crews could react. It wasn't tank warfare anymore. It was tank hunting. The T-80's gas turbine engine was revolutionary. Borrowed directly from helicopter technology, it delivered massive power with incredible acceleration. While diesel engines and other tanks required warm-up time and gradual acceleration, the T-80 could go from stationary to maximum speed almost instantly. But the real genius was the fire control system. The T-80U variant featured the world's first tank-fired anti-tank guided missile system. The 9K-112 Cobra could engage enemy armor at ranges up to 5 kilometers, distances where enemy tanks couldn't even see the T-80, let alone fight back. However, speed came with a price. The gas turbine consumed fuel at rates that would make a fighter jet blush. Maintenance was complex and expensive. The engine's heat signature made the tank visible to thermal imaging from enormous distances. Ranking position. Sector 3. The T-80 was a brilliant concept that pushed the boundaries of what tanks could do, but its operational limitations prevented it from achieving true greatness. It was the sports car of tanks. Incredible performance, but impractical for everyday warfare. The modern workhorse, T-90, evolution perfected. Then came the machine that learned from every mistake, the T-90, Russia's attempt at the perfect main battle tank. August 2008, South Ossetia. Georgian forces are advancing with confidence, supported by modern Western equipment and tactics. Then, Russian T-90As appear on the horizon, and everything changes. The T-90 wasn't revolutionary like the T-80 or numerous like the T-72. It was something more dangerous. It was refined. Every weakness identified in previous Soviet tanks had been systematically eliminated. Every strength had been enhanced. The T-90's Shtor-1 electro-optical countermeasure system could blind enemy anti-tank guided missiles, making the tank nearly immune to the most common battlefield threats. Its Contact 5 explosive reactive armor could defeat even advanced Western ammunition. The thermal imaging system was finally competitive with NATO standards. But the real breakthrough was reliability. Unlike the maintenance-intensive T-80, the T-90 used a proven diesel engine derived from the T-72, but upgraded with modern technology. It could operate in conditions that would disable other tanks: extreme cold, desert heat, high altitude, and urban environments. Major Dmitry Kozlov, who commanded T-90s during the Syrian campaign, explains their effectiveness. The T-90 was the first Russian tank where everything worked as advertised. The armor stopped what it was supposed to stop. The gun hit what we aimed at. The systems functioned reliably in combat conditions. It wasn't the most advanced tank in the world, but it was the most dependable. The Syrian campaign proved the T-90's capabilities under real combat conditions. Operating in extreme heat, urban environments, and against modern anti-tank weapons, T-90s demonstrated effectiveness that surprised even Russian commanders. But perhaps most importantly, the T-90 could be exported successfully. Unlike earlier Soviet tanks that required extensive support infrastructure, the T-90 could operate effectively with minimal Western-style maintenance and training. Ranking position. Number 2, the T-90 represents the perfection of traditional tank design. It doesn't push boundaries like the T-80 or revolutionize production like the T-72, but it executes every aspect of tank warfare extremely well. It's the machine you want when reliability matters more than innovation. The Enigma, T-14 Armata, the future or fantasy. And then there's the machine that might change everything, or might be the most expensive military bluff in history, the T-14 Armata. May 9th, 2015, Red Square. The world watches as something unprecedented rolls past Lenin's tomb. The T-14 Armata doesn't just look different. It represents a fundamental reimagining of what a tank should be. No crew in the turret, no human gunner, no traditional tank layout at all. The T-14 places its three-man crew in a heavily armored capsule in the hull, completely separated from the ammunition and fuel. The unmanned turret is controlled remotely, equipped with active protection systems that can shoot down incoming missiles, and armed with a 125mm smoothbore cannon that can fire advanced programmable ammunition. But the real revolution is the Afghanit Active Protection System, a network of radar, sensors, and interceptor missiles that creates a protective bubble around the tank. Incoming anti-tank missiles, rocket-propelled grenades, and even kinetic penetrators can be destroyed before they reach the tank's armor. The specifications sound like science fiction. Fully digitized fire control, artificial intelligence assistance for target identification, modular armor that can be upgraded in the field, and sensor systems that provide 360-degree battlefield awareness. However, here's where the story gets complicated. Despite years of development and massive publicity, the T-14 remains largely a mystery. Production numbers are classified. Combat performance is unproven. Some Western analysts question whether the tank exists in meaningful quantities at all. Dr. Michael Kaufman, a Russian military expert, notes, the T-14 represents either a genuine breakthrough in tank design or the most sophisticated piece of military theater ever produced. The technology is impressive on paper, but we have no verified data about its actual capabilities or production status. Ranking position, number 1 with asterisks. If the T-14 performs as advertised, it represents the most advanced tank design in the world. However, its unproven status and questionable production numbers make this ranking highly speculative. The legendary grandfather, T-34, the tank that won a war. But we can't complete this ranking without acknowledging the grandfather of them all, the T-34, the tank that established Russia's reputation for armored warfare excellence. June 22nd, 1941. Operation Barbarossa begins with German confidence in their technological superiority. That confidence lasted exactly until the first T-34 appeared on the battlefield. German tank commander Otto Carius described his first encounter. The T-34 was the most unpleasant surprise of 1941. Our shells bounced off its sloped armor like peas off a wall. Meanwhile, its 76mm gun could destroy our Panzer IIIs and IVs with single shots from ranges we couldn't effectively return fire. The T-34 didn't just win battles, it won the war. Over 84,000 T-34s were produced during World War II, more than the combined tank production of Germany, Britain, and the United States. They rolled from the factories of the Urals to the streets of Berlin, unstoppable in their numbers and revolutionary in their design. The T-34's sloped armor, wide tracks, and powerful gun established the template that every subsequent Russian tank would follow. Its influence can be seen in every machine that followed, from the T-72 to the T-14. Historical position, beyond ranking. The T-34 doesn't compete with modern tanks because it established the principles that all modern Russian tanks follow. It's not just a great tank, it's the foundation of Russian armor doctrine. So here's the final ranking of Russia's tank dynasty. Number 1, T-14 Armata, the most advanced tank design in the world, if it actually works as advertised. Number 2, T-90, the perfection of traditional tank warfare, combining reliability with modern capabilities. Number 3, T-80, revolutionary speed and firepower, but operational limitations prevent higher ranking. Number 4, T-72, the backbone of Soviet armor, successful through numbers rather than sophistication. Historical foundation, T-34, the tank that established Russian armor supremacy and influenced every design that followed. But here's the deeper truth. Each of these machines represents a different philosophy of warfare. The T-34 proved that good enough in massive numbers could defeat superior technology. The T-72 showed that simple, reliable designs could dominate through sheer ubiquity. The T-80 demonstrated that revolutionary concepts could change battlefield dynamics. The T-90 proved that evolution could be as effective as revolution. And the T-14? It represents Russia's bet on the future, the belief that the next generation of warfare will be dominated by artificial intelligence, active protection, and crew survival rather than traditional armor and firepower. Whether that bet pays off remains to be seen. But one thing is certain. For 80 years, Russian tanks have been rewriting the rules of armored warfare. From the factories of World War II to the battlefields of tomorrow, the red star on Russian armor has been a symbol of innovation, determination, and the relentless march of military evolution. The legacy continues, and the next chapter is being written in the testing grounds and battlefields of today. What do you think? Did we get the ranking right? Is the T-14 really as revolutionary as it appears, or is it Russian military theater? Should the T-34's historical impact place it higher on the list? Drop your rankings in the comments below. Tank enthusiasts love to debate, and we want to hear your arguments. Don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into military history and technology, and hit that notification bell, because the world of armored warfare never stops evolving. Remember, these machines aren't just metal and mechanics. They're the evolution of human conflict written in steel and fire, and their story's far from over.